Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Aviation Weather Watch. I just thought I'd go over a few tools that I use when I'm forecasting severe weather. This is mainly for east of the Rockies here, but of course you've got the TCF here, convective forecast. I'm highlighting on Florida today because they're expecting some unusual severe weather down there. But by looking at this, you'd think maybe just typical Florida thunderstorms today, right? So then we look at the Thunderstorm Outlook. I know a lot of you guys look at this one here too, so you can kind of see the timeline of it. It does show robust coverage here across the state, but again, not much detail. We look at individual TAFs and you can see thunderstorm development is going to occur, but look at Orlando, just kind of calling for light variable winds here. You're looking at Tampa Bay, not much in the wind department as well, just kind of thunderstorm development. You might think just business as usual across the state of Florida. Taking a look here though, aviation forecast discussions, you can see you've got Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Melbourne, Tampa, and Miami down there. If I click on Melbourne there, look at this, hail greater than 2 inches in diameter, gusty winds 50 to 55 knots. That's a huge difference from what those local TAFs have been saying. So you can get some really good detailed information in these aviation forecast discussions. This is day one categorical outlook. The Storm Prediction Center is great for knowing where severe storm development is likely to occur. And you can see this enhanced risk across the state of California. This is driven by a huge hail threat here across central portions. Anywhere in this hatched area is 2+ inch hail likely across the state of Florida. Now you can scroll down as well and you can see a really detailed discussion talking about an elevated mix layer coming from Mexico. A warm layer in the atmosphere acts as a cap and allows that instability to really build up during the daytime before finally busting through the cap, and it's going to bring some supercell structures and some huge hail to the state of Florida. This is looking at a sounding right here. You can see the temperature profile. Of course, it drops with height until you hit that cap there. That's that EML, that elevated mix layer that's going to cap the atmosphere there in Florida. And once instability builds up enough, it will overcome this cap and really be able to access this entire column of air, this very unstable air mass above. Now we're looking here at hail probabilities. This is for April 22nd here, and this just kind of shows you climatologically speaking across the country where you can expect that hail, generally greater than 3/4 of an inch. You can see Florida, pretty unusual this time of year to see big hail, actually really any time of the year. But you can scroll through this at your leisure and just kind of check out where the severe weather threat lies as you go on into the summer and the fall months eventually. So this is a great site. I will include these links here in an email as well. Now, this is looking at day two. Storm Prediction Center kind of tells you what the next day's storms are going to look like, at least severe weather-wise, and this would be for day three. Now, these current mesoscale discussions are great as well. You can click on these individual areas here, and it will give you additional information. So if you click on that, you can see this blue area across Florida outlines talking about within the next 2 hours, hail perhaps in excess of 2 inches here is possible with damaging winds, strong downburst winds likely. And you can scroll down here and you can see these threats, very large hail up to 3 inches, damaging winds. So yeah, it's something you don't see in the TAFs here. So you can see that you would be much better able to talk to a captain, for example, that's coming in or out of Florida just by looking at this data. And of course, you've got these high resolution models here. You can check out the CAPE, convective available potential energy. You can watch it move around and interact with the storms. And of course, you're not supposed to be using this for your actual forecasting, but it just kind of gives you a better awareness of what's going on, and it can help you with storm location, storm motion, and storm timing. And if we go on in through the afternoon, you can guys see these strong thunderstorms developing across some of the state of Florida here. And it just kind of gives you a timeline and just a general knowledge of where these storms are headed. There's also the NAM3KM. I've pointed this out a couple times before, but this is also a high resolution model. It runs once every 6 hours, and this model is very good also. It shows, you can check out the thunderstorm threat across the region here today. So anyway, these are just a few things I look at when I'm forecasting severe weather. Just kind of gives you a better idea of the overall picture for areas that you are forecasting for. I like to use visible satellite imagery here. You can see as I'm doing this video, you can see the cap starting to break here across areas of Florida, which is going to lead to these big thunderstorms, supercell structures, and huge hail across the state of Florida. Sorry if I just said California there again. But yeah, anyway, you've got your typical tools and you can deep dive into any area here, especially along the East Coast and along the Midwest here. We get some pretty big thunderstorms. They are the biggest thunderstorms really on the planet. We have the perfect setup for it here. So it's kind of worth knowing about some of these tools. The Storm Prediction Center is a great resource. So anyway, hope to see you guys on the floor. Feel free to ask any questions in email, and I will talk to you guys later.